everybody, welcome back to Mustangs by Matt. Today we're starting a new series called Showcar Showcase. This is the Showcar 2014 Shelby GT500, and this is the showcase. Mr. David Gore, he was the subject of our last Pay It Forward video where we did the car parade for him. So if you haven't seen that, that video is linked right up here. Go have a look at that. Let's just get right into it, I guess. What was your first experience with Mustang? When did you first see the Mustang? What was your
first experience? I would have to say college. It was in college at Delta State University. I was in the back of a Fox body. It was probably a late 90s, late 80s, early 90s Ford Mustang. It was hopped up. It had, I just remember it had big wheels on the end. On the back of it.
Big fat tires?
Yeah. And we were on Highway 61 in Cleveland, Mississippi, and a Buick Grand National pulls up behind us, which happens to be my favorite car.
The Turbo 6.
The G&X, favorite car of the 80s. That actually drove up beside us, and we actually raced it.
Those cars still look good today.
They look very good. They look very good, absolutely. And we did a roll and start, and our Mustang slowly pulled away. Wow. And I was just surprised. I was like, wow, here's a Mustang. I love that Buick, Grand National, but I'm in the back of this Mustang. But that guy had popped up pretty good, and that was my first experience in a Ford Mustang.
Was that a hatchback?
It was.
Or was it the coupe?
It was the coupe. It was the coupe. It was not.
How did you get in the back of that car?
I just did. I mean,
did they cut your legs off or something?
It was tight. Yeah. And there were 4 of us in there.
Oh my gosh! I always tell people they put 2 seats in the back for insurance purposes because there's no way a regular sized person could fit there. Right.
But it was a tight fit, but it was interesting. It kind of opened my eyes, how fast Mustangs work.
So like I said, this is the GT500 2014, 662 horsepower, the last one that Carroll Shelby directly had influence on.
That is correct.
What was it about this one that you were like?
Well, I tell you, it wasn't my idea.
Really?
To have this car. Yeah, the idea was presented to me.
Oh wow.
So good.
Who had the idea?
Well, the interesting story was the Overseas Military Sales Program. That's how I ended up getting this car. I didn't come to this car. It kind of came to me. I guess I did kind of come to it, but I was interested in the Shelby because I had friends who had it. Obviously, I had the 2009 Challenger already. Yeah. I didn't know how the wife would be with me having a Shelby. Shelby offers approximately 50 cars a year to the military people through the Overseas Sales Program.
Oh, wow.
And I got over there, you have to be employed 30 days or longer. I got over there and found out that they had that program, and this was the last year of it because it was last year at Shelby. And so I went ahead and put my name, because the problem they had more people that wanted these cars than they had a number of cars.
So
I'm like, well, let me just go put in for the drawing and put my name in the hat, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Well, I went ahead and redeployed.
If nothing happens, then whatever.
Yeah, nothing happens. Yeah. I went ahead and redeployed back. And I got a call from the guy, and he said, hey, I need your specs for your car. Congratulations, you won. There were a little over 200 people that put in for the drawing, and there were only 38 cars for 2014. So if you think of it, that's about 1 in 7. So odds are pretty good.
Really good odds.
Yeah, good odds. And I was one of the 7.
Wow.
1 out of 7 guys, to get it. And so then I had to go home and say, honey,
yeah, that's why that talk.
Yeah, I had to have the talk because I said, I don't know if you know, but I won the right to buy this car. Not the right, and I didn't win the car.
Won the right to buy it.
Oh, she's like, oh, that's just really good. So we had some conversations in there, and we had to go back and forth. There were some stipulations she wanted, obviously, for me to get the car. So in the end, we worked it out, and I was able to spec the car out exactly how I wanted it. And I sent my my specs, which you see here, the glass roof.
I saw that.
Yeah, glass roof. I sent my specs to the guy, and he went ahead.
I kind of forgot the glass roof was an option on these.
It was, yep.
It was like $1,000, wasn't it?
Yeah. Just over 1,000. Pretty rare. You
don't see them.
Too many people get it, especially if you get stripes over it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went ahead and spec'd it out. I sent those, and they built it at the dealership in Michigan. I think it's Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah,
And,
well, I would say
no,
on there or something.
It's actually, if you look up there.
Oh, right there,
yeah.
I see it. Yeah.
They built a Flat Rock Assembly plant.
You can read
Flat
that?
Rock Assembly, yep. Yeah, so anyway.
My glasses are on the floor.
Yeah, so this is what I got, and of course, I went ahead and applied for that certificate up there, and it tells you how many of what car, how many in this color.
With this stripe combination,
with that combination, and this is what I got. And a funny story about this car here is, I was supposed to get it at the end of 2013, at the very end, and for some reason, the guy, my dealer, he didn't know if I was going to take the delivery of the car in time. So I got back from the deployment, spec'd this car out. 2 months later, I was supposed to go to Korea in July, and I said I wanted it delivered in December. December 17th was the day I was supposed to have it delivered. I got over to Korea on July the 2nd. 2 weeks later, he called me and said, your car's in Macon at the dealership, ready to go. And I'm like, I just got to Korea. I'm going to be here for 6 months. How am I supposed to take delivery of this car until my 6 month, my halfway, where I can go home for 30 days?
Yeah.
You know, to take my
your leave.
Yeah. And so I'm like, well, somebody screwed that up, and I don't know how this happened, but I had to talk with him offline. Bottom line, the dealership ended up taking my car, and they ended up putting it in and starting it up, you know, a few times a month, putting it in the bag, you know, in a room, away from, you know, hands, you know, greasy hands and everything like that.
And you know, techs who want to take out a new GT500 for a test spin.
Exactly. Yeah. So it stayed safe. They sent me photos of it. In fact, my next door neighbor over here was a photographer. He did it on the site, and he went up there and actually took some professional shots of it. And you know, they let him do that. And then we just kept it indoors. They did drive around the block a few times just to, you know,
keep the loop.
Yeah. So they did that, and I came in December 17th. My wife took me, and we picked it up, you know, at the Ford dealership in Macon, Georgia.
Is that Riverside Ford, you said?
Yeah, Riverside Ford.
How many cars have you owned, and can you name them all?
Yes, I have owned 9 cars.
Really?
In my whole life, yeah. That's not really that many.
That's not that many. Well, I had 9 before I turned 25.
I was not really a car guy, you know, growing up when I was a kid. My dad was a lawyer. He never worked on cars. I never had a car. My first car I didn't have until college. I never had a car in high school. That was always one of my sore points.
Yeah.
My mom and dad, you know, never saw the need for me to have a car. But anyway, when I did own my first car, I was proud of it, because I, you know, bought it with my own money. But it was a 1985 Ford Ranger. I tell you what, that car, I drove it till the wheels nearly fell off of it.
And
I wish I had
what engine did it have in it?
It had a V6. It had.
You had the V6.
Yeah, I had the V6. It was a 2-tone, actually 3-tone. It was silver, black, and then silver, and it had a red interior.
Oh yeah.
And mine actually
was it that vinyl, or not the vinyl, but that kind of fabric?
It was the vinyl.
It was the vinyl. Okay.
Yeah. And that mine, like yours, for a season didn't have air conditioning, because the air conditioner actually did have air conditioning, but it went out.
Yeah.
I didn't have the money to fix it.
Nobody, you never do. When you're in high school, you just don't.
Yeah, I would come home from a hospital job.
Is doing this.
Yes, I would come home from a hospital and get in blacktop, the pavement, the parking lot out there. I'd get in there and I'd go home, and by the time I got home, I'd literally peel myself off that vinyl seat. And after about a year of no air conditioning, I finally got the money to get that fixed, so that was good. But that was my first vehicle. Traded that in for a 1995 Chevrolet Z71, blue and gold, extended cab.
Oh, you went down in quality, didn't you?
I went up in size now. Yeah. So, but drove that in.
Did it have the 350 in it?
It had a 350.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a 95 blue and gold. My dream truck, always in college, was a red regular cab Z71.
And that's what you've got.
And that's what I have right now.
Yeah. And
I think y'all have seen photos of that.
It is. I mean, you know, I'm a Ford guy, and you know, Carroll Shelby himself would probably, you know, smite me if he heard me say that. But it is a nice looking truck.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
We've got some pictures right here, but man.
Yeah. So
you fully restored that.
Yeah, I did. I bought that. The guys, when I joined the Air National Guard in Mississippi, everybody had their Chevrolets. That was kind of the big truck in central Mississippi. You know, all the hunters loading their ATVs up.
Yeah.
And that was my dream truck, and I finally got it. It wasn't until 1998 when I was driving to Oklahoma City that I saw that red one sitting in a lot. So who goes in and actually trades in an extended cab for a regular cab? Not many people do that, but I did because I finally found that dream truck, and I've had it for 23 years
The
now.
cab is just better.
You know, it is.
I mean,
it's like the old square body.
Yeah.
Like those old square body, Chevy.
Like with the old Rangers, like
Right,
the 85
right.
Ranger,
Yeah. So I ended up getting that 98. I've had it for 23 years, and just recently did a 7 to 8 month cosmetic restoration where I totally took the bed off of it, jacked the cab up, grounded the entire frame front to back, all the suspension, put all new components in there, and we could talk about that
That's
later.
a show truck.
Oh,
Man,
it is. Yeah. Then I had a 94 Nissan Sentra because I was putting too many miles on my red Chevrolet. And gas was killing me at the time.
You need a daily car.
Yeah. So I ended up getting a 94 Sentra, and then I had traded that in when I moved to California. Got a 2000 Nissan Sentra. Then I ordered that 2003 Jeep Rubicon, which was silver Jeep. That was also ordered through the overseas sales.
And that's the
program.
4-liter, right?
Yeah, it's the 4-liter inline 6, the last of the real engines in those Jeeps. I'm very proud of that Jeep.
It looks really good.
If there's any vehicle I've done more mods to, it's that Jeep. That Jeep is totally,
they're just fun.
Yeah,
fun
you can just do all kinds of stuff. We have the 2009 Dodge Challenger, the 2014 Shelby, and then my most recent car, that's a little 2002 Honda. I got rid of my 2000 Sentra when I came back from California, so I needed to beat a car. Oh yeah, I'm already at 175. That car will go another 200.
So it's just barely broken in. Have you changed the oil at all yet?
Yeah.
You don't have to do that in those.
Well, I just actually had it changed at 1,000 miles over just 2 days ago. So 9 vehicles total.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's not that many, but I didn't really become interested in cars, later in life. But yeah.
I've had well over 30, and
wow.
I couldn't name them all. In fact, I forget some of them on purpose. But with the exception of my Jeep, I've only owned one non-Ford.
Oh wow! 30 over 30 cars, and only one
non-Ford, and I bought that twice. Okay, so back to the Shelby. Is it stock?
The Shelby, for the most part, is stock. There are no performance mods on here.
Okay. What have you changed?
The only thing I have put on here are hood pins, Shelby hood pins, which again I went to a body shop to have it because I did not trust myself.
Oh no.
Drilling through the hood, you get one chance. To drill the hood. I took it up to RCI Collision, and
we like them.
You like them?
We like RCI.
Yeah, the owner ended up putting them on for me. He did it personally himself, and he did a really good job doing that. The only other thing I have for the car, and I haven't put it on yet, is the Shelby dash plaque. I just ordered the dash plaque, and I've got
it goes in the middle there.
Console. It goes on the bottom. It doesn't go up top.
Right between
but it goes below the radio, right behind the gear shift. Yeah. So I've got that. So those are the only two things I've done. What I want to do to it is I want to go ahead and put my scoop right here on the side. I want to put me a louver here, and then I don't need a whole lot more horsepower. The VMP
662 is really, I mean, you may as well just be walking at 662. But for real.
Well, VMP Motorsports out of Florida, they make a kit. It's a stage 3 kit where you can add 100 rear-wheel horsepower just by going with.
Is that a pulley?
It's a pulley, a smaller pulley, a bigger air intake, a Ford racing throttle body, and a tune.
And 100.
And they put it on the dyno. And so for about $1,800, you can do them. That's the cheapest mod that you can spin and get 100 horsepower.
The most out of it.
Yeah. And then after that, you have to step up in supercharger to get any more power. But that's $1,800 for 100 horsepower.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
That's
really very good. And the majority of that is by going to a smaller pulley, which will actually bump it up from 14 psi to 17 psi.
Oh wow!
So if I can get the wife's permission, then I'll probably take it down to Florida. And
well, you know what they say. It's better to ask forgiveness than ask permission.
That's right. But
I thought it'd be okay, honey.
But it'll take it from 662 to about 760. They say 120 rear-wheel horsepower. I just say 100. You know
because
Can I call it a member of the 800 horsepower club? Maybe not that.
You can call it whatever you want.
No. Wait, what? Are you serious?
Next topic. The one that got away.
The one that got
What's
away.
the one that got away? We all have one.
I could tell you, my original plan after I kind of got the Shelby, I'm like, well, I got the Dodge, which was kind of my dream car, the Challenger. And then I got the Shelby, and I'm like, well, gosh, you know, I got Dodge, I've got Ford, maybe we need to round it out, be a well-rounded American here. Let's go with the Chevrolet. And obviously they had the ZL1, which was a supercharged version of their car. Now my first generation Challenger, you know, now we have the Hellcat, we've got the Super Stock, the Red Eye, the Demon. They're all supercharged. That wasn't available with the Challenger, but still to round it out, the ZL1 would have been the car. So that's the one that got away, and that's the one I would have gone with, and I would have had Chevrolet, Ford, and Dodge lying in the garage.
All right, so this next one is the guilty pleasure car.
The guilty pleasure car?
Yeah.
That was a 2018 Dodge Demon Challenger.
No.
That would be
A
my
car that you wouldn't really want to buy, but you like it and you don't know why. It doesn't make sense.
Let me say that again. 2018 Dodge Demon Challenger. Cool car, would love to have.
So you have to. Would you get rid of that one? Would you get rid of that one?
Therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem. Because when the ZL1 thing came about, that's when the Hellcat came out, and I'm like, well, crap. Do I put off the ZL1 to go ahead and upgrade to the Hellcat? But then I'll get rid of my original Challenger. That's the original Challenger, second generation, that came out.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to get rid of that thing. Do I want to get rid of it for a Hellcat or Red Eye? Probably not. Let me just keep what I have. But I would keep that, to be honest with you, and then buy the Demon, or buy the Hellcat or whatever. Because I wouldn't want to get rid of that. But the Dodge Demon, after it came out, when the news of that broke, I had to just go la 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 la. And I mean, I don't know if y'all remember on TV in 2018, Vin Diesel, is that his name? Fast and Furious guy?
Yeah.
He's the one that premiered that car on live TV. And I just couldn't watch it because I'm just like, I would be all in this and I would want to sell my Challenger. And so I just didn't pay attention to it until later on.
Yeah.
And then it was, So it was kind of that whole chestnut.
Yeah.
And
that's the one where they give you the car and then they give you the 1,000 horsepower for like $1.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They give you the whole, basically it's a whole tool set, like a whole tool chest with the tires, the skinny tires,
the computer,
the computer, all that stuff. And if you've noticed, the Hellcat, the Red Eye, which is the step up, the wide body Hellcat, and they just came out with the Challenger Super Stock.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you haven't seen the Super
No, I
Stock?
haven't seen the
Okay.
Super Stock.
So basically, it's the 707 for the Hellcat, which is now 717, 797 with the Red Eye, which was the wide body Hellcat, 797. The Super Stock is 807, but it's still below the Demon on the rung because the Demon has the race tune that could take it up to about 800.
So is that like so it's like
they don't
artificially limited.
Yeah, well it is.
To create a segment.
They don't want to the status of the Demon being only 3,000 cars. They don't want to upclass that status. So what they found out was during the Red Eye, when they were developing the Red Eye, the 797 car, the car had all this power, but it couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
So they said, we're going to come up with this Challenger Super Stock that has wider tires and can put the traction down better, and that's what they did.
All right. If money was no object,
money was no object.
what car?
I would
Or
own
truck?
a 1971 Hemi Cuda convertible.
What color?
You just had to ask that, didn't you?
It's okay if you don't know the name of the color. Plum purple?
Well, it would either be plum, crazy purple, PCP. Oh, I haven't even seen the green one. And I don't even know the name.
Everybody knows plum purple.
Yeah, I've seen that one. There is one. In fact, I think Craig Jackson owns a 1971 Hemi Cuda convertible. I think he owns that one. That $3.2 million car. But anyway, I have seen and I can't remember if it was convertible, but I have seen a green one. It's like a kind of an evergreen color. Beautiful car. But the 71 Hemi Cuda can be the convertible. That's the $1 million car. But I don't necessarily the convertible's not a requirement, but that is the car.
Like 71 Cuda.
Yeah, 71 Cuda.
I love
And if you've ever seen Gone with 60 Seconds, the one with
the original one.
not the original one. This is the most recent one.
Okay, with
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
You know, Eleanor's the GT500. Well, in that movie, they do go and they steal a 1971 Hemi Cuda. And I'm like, well, that Hemi Cuda needed to be the story of the movie. Not Eleanor. I thought you'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
But that's the magical car there.
I think that's it for my side of the interview. Now we turn the tables over to David, and this is the part where he gets to ask me a question. This is called the wild card segment.
That's right.
And I gave him the questions ahead of time. I don't know what he's about to ask me, but
anything and everything. The guest picks the topic, and we flush it out as best as we can.
Yeah.
So, just knowing you, the few months that I've known you, and how you love my Shelby, and how my Challenger gets very little.
Oh, don't worry, we'll bleep that out.
My Challenger gets very little. So, my question to you is, why Ford? And do you have anything against Dodge and Chevrolet? You told me that you've owned 30-something cars,
yes,
all but one being a Ford.
Right.
So what's up with Ford? Why is it?
Well, my mom had a, I don't know what, she had a car, right? When I was born, she had a car. I don't remember what it is. But she was rear-ended and that car was totaled. So she says, I'm going to go get a Mazda, whatever, I don't know. And she walks over to the Mazda dealership. Nobody speaks to her. No, you've been to a car dealer. You walk out there, they're like vultures.
Yeah.
And nobody came out and spoke to her. So she walked over to the Ford dealer across the street. It was a Ford dealer in Perry. I forget the name. But she walked over there, and the salesman came out and introduced himself and said, hey, if there's anything you need, let me know. I'm here. I'll be up there. And let her kind of walk around. And she picked up a 1990 red Ford Mustang Coupe. And that, she said, this is going to be the car that Matt is going to get when he starts driving in 13 years, 12, 13 years. And so that's how it started for me. So my first car was the Mustang.
Special connection, okay.
And it was a 4-cylinder automatic that I hated. The 1990 Mustang had the 4-cylinder, it was 2.3 liter Lima engine, so it was like designed in like 74, and they were still using it. And it had 90 some odd horsepower, and it would get to 60 eventually. And so when I bought my most recent Mustang, it's a 4-cylinder automatic. And it's a red 4-cylinder automatic, and I just remembered like the irony. I hated that car because it was so slow.
Right.
But it got the juices flowing.
But look at the difference 30 years makes.
Yeah.
The red 4-cylinder Mustang back in '90, and the red one. And look at the difference in horsepower.
Yeah. It's
just amazing.
It's the same displacement. It's the same, front to back. I'm so glad they didn't. And remember, in 1994, the Mustang was gonna go transaxle. It was going to be a transverse V6.
Right.
And that became the Pro, which was garbage. But yeah, that's for me. I respect power. So you asked me, the other part of that question was, what do I have against anything else?
Absolutely.
And the truth of it is, I love to hate.
You love to hate.
I love to hate. There's nothing out and out wrong with the Dodge Challenger, the Dodge Charger. If you need groceries, or if you've got a really long road, the Dodge Challenger is a good car, fine. But if you want to make turns, you need a car with a steering wheel that can go left and right.
Right.
And again, I'm just hating.
Yeah.
But like, she owned my Jeep. I didn't actually own the Jeep. She owned the Jeep. And then she owned she had a Nissan Joke. It was the Nissan Joke.
Okay. That's that square?
No. That's the Cube.
That's the Cube.
The Cube is square, which is funny. But really, I don't really have any inherent issues. The problem that I really come up with is the people in charge. You know?
Yeah, sure.
But
yeah.
you know, if like I was telling you earlier, so that's a beautiful car.
Yeah,
it really is.
Well, Chevrolet, Ford, and Dodge. You know, those
those
guys have always had. You know, picking
I've always said it. I've always said it, and I'll say it today, and I'll say it till the day I die. The best thing that ever happened to the Ford Mustang was the Chevrolet Camaro.
Well,
it gave competition.
It did. It gave a competition, and there has to be something said about the Ford Mustang being the only car this has had continuous production since 1964 and a half.
Yeah, April 1960.
All the way up to 2020.
Yes.
No other car can say that. Okay, let's do one last story before these overheat again.
Yeah.
And you can edit this at some point. So, what's the stupidest thing that I've done with my Mustang?
Well, yeah.
Okay,
all right.
So I took delivery of this Mustang 17 December, and I spent my 30 days at home, and about 3 days before I was going to go back, I went ahead and took the Shelby out, and it was probably in the upper 40s, maybe lower 50s, 48, 49 degrees out there. And I had driven it on Watson a little bit, driven it around 15 minutes. Well, I went on Watson, going towards 75, and I got on the turn ramp going south on 75, and I goosed it just a little bit because I saw traffic coming down there. On my boost meter, I got it up to about 2 to 3 pounds of boost.
So barely.
Yeah, barely much at all. This one maxed out at 14 psi, and so I goosed it there and went down on the on-ramp and hit about 75 to 80, and when I got on that on-ramp and I went to merge on into the lane, the back end of that car went out.
Oh.
And it went out. I corrected, oversteered the other, it went fishtailed the other way, and I would love to say that my great driving skill got me out of that fishtail, but I think it was me letting off the gas and the traction control kicking in, and that thing literally caught back up everybody was dropping their boat anchors behind me trying to stop. And I
literally, this idiot in the Mustang.
Idiot. And I limped that car to Russell on the next exit. And I pulled off on the side of the road. I turned the car off, and my heart was sitting there going, I nearly lost this car with 150 miles on the odometer. I almost lost control of this car. And I didn't do anything crazy. I just went to merge. But I went back, I joined the Shelby forum, I went into the forum, I told everybody what happened, and they said, one common thing they said, did you read the instruction manual about your car and about the tires? Do not operate under 50 degrees Fahrenheit, you know, in a performance manner.
Right.
And I think I just kind of passed that, you know, it was below 50 degrees.
They were cold.
They were cold. I hit that performance, and they were like glass, and it just went out from under me. But I tell you what I did. I went back home, and I put the car up in this garage right here, and for the next 3 days, I did not touch it. I did not drive it until I got back from Korea 6 months later. Because I just, at that point,
you were just like, I need to, that was good. I nearly died.
Yes, I nearly died.
And worse, I almost crashed the car.
Yeah, if I could have put it in the median, it would have been bad.
Yeah.
So I just went ahead and just chalked it up to experience, and then went to Korea, and then came back a smarter and wiser man.
Yeah, as you do. So, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I wish you the best of luck with the chemo, and obviously we're going to be keeping in touch constantly, because you know I'm praying for you and Simeon and Sarah and Laura. That's it for this one. Let me know how you liked it. If you want to see more content like this, let me know in the comments below. Like the video, share it. But that's all for this one. Thanks for watching. Be safe, have fun, and God bless America. So, where were we? I forgot what we were talking about.
We were talking about, that's a good question. I don't know what we were talking
Honey,
about.
can you?
Let's look at the tape.
There's a crack in the driveway.
Yeah, that's always the.
I guess I might not win the cinematography Oscar.
Is there one?